All right, Isaiah, what's up, buddy?
Jane, no. Been waiting for a while to get on these podcasts, man.
I had to run all the way out of people before I got you on.
No, this is good, man. I like it. It's fun. I like it. I
Yeah,
liked last what was it, Wednesday? I had my guys on your thing. It was really cool, man. Like I think the kids that were on there enjoyed it, but like we were just talking about, I got to make some adaptations for our kids that don't have mats or they're complaining about concrete. And I was like, just shoot on the damn wood, man. It's going to be 2 seconds on your knee. You'll be fine. You'll be good to go.
yeah, and I kind of dropped the ball on that a little bit, like because the guy that helps me, Joey Gion, I just kind of getting feedback from him. And he was like, yeah, he's like, one thing just to remember is like, not all of us have mats or anything at home. He's like, my knees were pretty banged up by the end of it. I was like, oh shit. Cause, and some of the other workouts that I had done, like I did one for this club out in North Dakota. And then I did one for that wrestling lunch break. And I talked about like just hitting jab steps and hitting like penetration steps and like high level singles and stuff. And then this week or on Wednesday, I didn't talk about that at all. So kind of just adjusting with it and kind of like trying to take the feedback from everybody and understand that, this is all super pliable and super new. Like, just trying to figure what works for, the majority and what can work. And, you were saying before we were live is just, how much footwork is important and you can't really do enough really. So this is a time when, you can really be creative and work on your footwork and work on, just stance and motion.
Yeah, yeah. And I was thinking about it the other day when you were posting that work. I was watching. I wasn't jumping on because I don't know if I can run a 40-minute stance of motion right now. But I was thinking about like when we were competing, and then I was at home for the summer working out with my dad and Paul Goins and stuff. And I just remember doing even not quarantine, just regular practice, just doing 30 minutes of jump rope footwork and just ladder stance of motion before you even hit a shot. So it's like, I mean, even though we're quarantined, you're still going to do the same thing when we're in summer workouts or summer practices, all that stuff like that. We're going to be doing the same exact thing. So it doesn't really matter if you have a mat or not. You move your feet on the concrete, on the grass, whatever it is kind of thing. So no, but it's hard though, man. I mean, even like with me with teaching, it's like you got to adapt to so many different things. It's crazy. It's a weird time. And then like our school kind of was, I don't want to say ahead of the curve, but we took like 2 days off and then we did like a full training on like Zoom meeting and stuff like that. So we had some ideas for it, but even with teaching, it's so hard to like, when you're in class, you can kind of like see kids that, like teach their learning styles, but online they got distractions. Even at home too, it's like, I want to do 30 minutes of workout or kind of just go chill and, watch TV or something like that. It's hard to do it when you're not in person. You have that like, your presence kind of thing, so it's different, but I think eventually kids will get bored enough and they want to just start working out, but we'll see how it goes. We're going to start our stuff on Monday because I usually give them till after Easter break before we get our summer and off season stuff kind of going. But so we'll start on Monday and we'll figure out some game planning stuff on how we're going to get stuff going. But it's,
Yeah, and so you hit on, so those are you guys that don't know that are watching. Isaiah is head wrestling coach at Palma High School in Salinas, California, and he's also a teacher at Palma. So just I think it's a unique time to be a teacher and be a coach, and the thing that I've been saying since the jump of it is the people that adapt and the people that make this a time where they're still progressing. Those are the people that are going to come out of all of this, ahead of the curve and ahead of the game. And you said like your school is already on top of it. So as a teacher, like what are you doing to, make sure that kids are still staying engaged and still keeping like the lessons fresh? Cause I would imagine there's only so much like Zoom teaching that you can do where you're just standing up in front of them and telling them to read out of the book or whatever.
Oh yeah, I think I have it a little bit easier than some people that we might know that are doing younger grade because I have older kids, so there's a little bit more like academic presence in that kind of thing. I teach bio and science, or junior high, 7th and 8th grade science. So there's like it matters. I mean, it doesn't want to say it matters, but there's a little bit more you can assign and teach and talk about than if you're a 2nd or 3rd grade kind of teacher working on like colors and writing stuff like that. So I get away with it. It's a little bit easier for me because I don't think kids like talking for 45. We have hour sessions. I don't think they like me on there for an hour talking. So we'll hop on for like 10 minutes. We'll talk about what we're going to do that day and answer some questions from like the last assignment or whatever. And then I usually do pre-recorded lectures, 15 minutes, kind of just get them engaged for 15, and then have like an assignment or a research and then like an exit ticket. We did a cool one for 7th grade science. We're doing like healthy My Plate guidelines is kind of the lesson we're on. So they did like an in-home cooking project. It was hilarious because some of these kids were like, "Can I make cereal or can I make bacon and eggs and stuff like that?" So it was funny, but like just finding it's hard. It's like coaching, right? I mean, I like teaching like coaching, or like how I just view everything like how I was competing. Like winners find a way to win, right? You go and you find something to get the job done. So it's like if I got to assign a thing that like is going to be a home cooking project, like it's going to be an assignment, you're still going to get graded for it. But it's like, I don't know, just finding, creating angles and go score, just find different ways to do it. But it's challenging. I mean, it's not because like the way when everything, yeah, I didn't really get like a Zoom, or even like online classes for college, right? You need like a lot of training on how to teach that. And we know no teachers really got that at all. So it's like kind of on the fly. And I think, wrestling helps a lot with that because it's like, go make an adjustment, find a way to win kind of thing. But, it's fun. It's challenging. It's interesting. But I kind of, honestly, I like it better because there's a mute all button on Zoom. So when kids are talking, hitting that mute all button helps a lot. And like, I think for like the more motivated kids, it helps them a lot more because you don't have like, I mean, we were a private school. We were a pretty academic, rigorous school. So not all of our kids are bad, but they're 12, 13, 14 years old. They're going to get chatty. They're going to talk in class and stuff, So I think the more motivated kids are thriving more because it's like a focused session where it's like no one's interrupting. We're not worried about class management. You're just get in, get out, get the job done, get your content, and then you're good to go. So I kind of like it a little bit more than in class, honestly, because the management part of it. And like, if anyone's teaching, how management's like the hardest part about teaching. So it kind of eliminates that part. So, and then for me as a teacher, it allows you to like kind of get more in detail with stuff like bio. We're doing like asexual reproduction right now and stuff. So, like kind of being able to talk about small stuff without having to be like, yo, Josh, stop talking, man. Like pay attention. It helps you get to the lesson a lot easier, but it's been fun though. It's been fun. Now it's trying to adjust to virtual coaching now, but it helps when you got people like you and like Brahman and those guys that are doing stuff online already that are I can steal and piggyback off and get them going. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, it's funny because I find myself just really studying in and watching in on some of these other people that are doing the exact same stuff that I'm trying to do, and just kind of picking up what I like from theirs, and it's just it's making adding little wrinkles to my style and adding little wrinkles to the things that I'm able to bring to my athletes and anybody too. And like the thing that I'm kind of pumped up about is the relationships that I'm able to build right now with people that otherwise I probably wouldn't be, especially this time of year when we're getting ready for this week. I think is UWW Nationals in Vegas was supposed to be.
Yeah.
So all these big tournaments that we're typically getting ready for, they're not happening, and these relationships that I'm creating right now and getting to see are a blessing because down the road we're going to be able to eventually get together and do camps, do clinics and things. And so for me, just to try to pump out as much like free stuff as possible, and even if it's just people taking 10 minutes out of it, out of an hour lesson, like that's enough just to keep the ball rolling. And it's not that likely that we're all going to make huge strides forward right now, but it is definitely possible to just continue to get better and continue to stay focused. And the like I said earlier, the ones that are making it work are going to have a leg up when all this is done. But I saw that I saw a meme the other day. It was talking about teachers when they get back to in-class teaching, and they're not going to have that mute all button. They're not going to know what to do.
Yeah, it's crazy, and the bad thing with us too is like we're a pretty big sports school and we're all boys. So I mean, you get a bunch of if we had even like us in college, put all of us in the same class and all those kinesiology classes we had, we didn't pay attention as much as we probably could have. So it's like it's an all boys setting, so it's just different. But no, like even like with our high level, we kind of talk about the same thing. Like they're like, oh, I want to go to Reno, or I want to go. It's like, you know what, dude, a Reno medal is not really going to define what you're going to do next year. 0.5% better every day, percent better every day, whatever you're doing, get better at footwork, then make new, adjust your goals. Like you can't win Reno Worlds now. All right. Big deal. Get over it. It's not, it's not going to change. The world's not going to change. You're not going to cater to it because Josh Nolan wants to win Reno Worlds. So go find a way to get better then. Go get better at footwork. You got week one or when we start next week, it's going to be like, week one is you go find something on your feet that you're not good at, get lighter on your front foot. We get better at, switching to stagger, get better at level changing, whatever it is, like get better at moving out of your level change, whatever it is, just find weekly, daily goals that we're going to make ourselves get ready to go. Because it's a process, not just little tiny things. And I get, competing at those tournaments, you can't get hands on a body, but I don't know. It's just you got to find a way to get better. Winners are going to win, and losers are going to find ways and excuses and don't want to get better. So it's an interesting time. I mean, I even like think it's like it's kind of weird if it was happening with me because it really wouldn't affected my training in high school because we have our room at my dad's house and I have Zach, so it actually would have been probably worse for us in quarantine with my dad and Shular because it'd be like you have nothing to do. Get your ass out there in the wrestling room and go start doing stuff. And that the wrestling room you've been in there, it gets brutal in there with Simon and yelling and all that stuff like that. So
Yeah,
I'm glad we didn't get quarantined when we were in high school because that would
yeah,
have been miserable.
you would have been doing triples for sure, no doubt about it.
Triples. I'd have been at 157s all 4 years of we had quarantine. But
So what with like just kind of thinking about that though, and your brother wrestled at Palma, your brother wrestled at SF State too, and your dad was the former high school coach at Palma, and just the long tenure that your guys' family has had, with that program and you taking over it. Like this was your first year as the head coach, right?
yeah.
First official year as the head coach. Like, so talk a little bit about like just kind of what that means to you and like what your vision, I guess, is to, improve. I know your dad's had, some great teams, some great individuals, and, so what do you do taking over, I guess?
I think it's like with my dad. I think the big thing that like kind of made us successful in college, placing the NCAA stuff like that. It's just like the foundation, right? Like we never. I just feel like some kids like try to peak in high school. You get what I'm saying? Like, you see so much burnout kids that are like, that dude was a 4-time placer and then he gets smacked up at and we've seen it at Cal Collegiates. It's like, I'm pretty sure we've been talking about like, dude, that guy's a 4-time placer and you just beat him 14-2 and you didn't place. It's weird, right? So it's like, I think the continuing that kind of tradition that my dad kind of put in us and, like my Paul's a big part of it too, is just like, just stressing the little things that are going to make successful. Like when you get to college or when when you get outside of high school, like I don't care if you get 4 medals because you can get 4 plaques later if you have the right foundation, right? You see it all the time. You got kids that are so successful in high school, they get into a college room, not used to getting beat up, not used to banging, they're not used to, scoring hard positions. So it's like you start a little bit, you back off of it, then it's like, then you get stagnant and then it's like, you know what, you're not even a placer, NAIA, D2, D3, D, you're not even going there when you're a 4-time third place in California state meet. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of our kids might not, get 4-3 state medals, but they're going to, if they go wrestle in college, might have to walk on, earn a spot. But it's like, you're going to have the right footwork. You're going to have the right mentality. You're going to have, understanding how hand fighting and getting the hell off bottom works when you get to that college level, So I think my goal for me is just, or for our team, like kind of my dad's still in there, Zach's still in there. Everyone comes in, does the same thing. But I think it's just, preparing kids to get to that next level, whether it's, your footwork is damn good. You can go and adjust. It's not so much like it's a style. Like you're going to wrestle like the way Isaiah wants you to wrestle. And that's what it's like. No, your feet are going to be good enough to where it's like you can go and work with Nolan and he's going to teach you one thing and like your footwork's there. So it's like I can adjust easily. I can adapt to all this stuff getting thrown into me. But I think a big thing with us is just my dad was big on it and I'm big on it. And I know you've done some stuff with it too. And it's like just I think footwork is the most important part of wrestling. I think it's more important than speed. I mean, it's important, but I mean, I think my biggest thing is just all footwork stuff. If you're light on your feet, you can go score and get 20, 30, 40 takedowns, right? You're going to win matches, and you're going to be competitive, and you're going to, teaching that kind of thing. And then another thing that we did this year is just like kind of, like mental training stuff. Like, we have Gilroy in our league, right? So we've been second forever since I can remember at Palma. It's always competing second. But this year is kind of like, honestly, I don't think we're there technically, but there's no reason why in the hell we can't think that we're going to beat Gilroy, right? So it's like, I try to tell our guys, like, it's a singlet, man. It's a singlet. It's a blue singlet. Everyone that's came to this program, successful program, has beat Gilroy kids before. Why the hell can't you do it? So it's like just kind of getting kids to understand that you belong in that kind of, that match. You belong. You've earned your right to be there. You're in the CCS finals. Who cares if it's Gilroy? You won the same matches. You're in the finals. Go wrestle that freaking match, man. So and we have a young team this year. We took third in the section. We had 9 freaking kids losing that damn blood round. So it's like, getting those, and I think that's what they're missing too, is they're kind of still young and naive about it. But it's like, understand that you belong there, dude. It doesn't matter if you're a freshman, it doesn't matter if you're a senior. You're in that match. You won the matches to get there. Now go and compete. Rise to that occasion and kind of just believe in yourself. I think a lot of our kids, and a lot of our problem right now is, I think our kids don't really, because it could be, they kind of get to a point where it's like, they thought like being top 8 in the section is good for a freshman, so they kind of settle. And it's like, why are you settling, man? There's kids that you beat in that year on that damn podium. Why are you settling for that match kind of thing? So that's another barrier that we gotta, get through to my guys, at least this next coming, this next phase in the spring and then into summer and getting ready to go for November kind of wrestling. But
yeah, and I love that mentality too. Like, why not me? Like,
yeah.
Like what's stopping? What's standing in my way of me being this guy? Just because, a lot of times it is our mental, state, or our own belief in ourselves and our belief in our capabilities. And once we get out of our own way and we have, that moment where all of a sudden, we beat the person that we're not supposed to, and we
Yeah.
have the success that nobody thought was coming, and all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, I could have been doing this the whole time. And just manifesting that belief in ourselves, like, even if it nobody else shares it, right? Like, everybody sees the CCS and they're like, that's Gilroy's section, but like, why not Palma? Like, why not us? Like, like, who's stopping us from coming together? And like you said, you have a young team, like, getting them to really set the standard for the next couple classes that come through, and just really change the landscape of things, because it just starts with that one spark, and when it happens, it can turn into a wildfire real fast.
Yeah, and I think we have one of those right now. Our 113 pounder, Zach Thomas, is a tough kid, man. It's heartbreaking this year. He lost the blood round this year at state, lost in the blood round last year at state. And I think he kind of has the same kind of problem. It's like underestimating, like when you wrestle an important match and you shut down, you go to like that one move that you're good at. And it's like, but you're so good at doing everything else, man. Like, that's the thing that, like, I think, even though he doesn't have 2 medals, and he probably could have 2 medals, right? If he gets into a college room, I think that we do a good job of setting him up to where it's like his offense is so dynamic that once, maybe it's like, hearing someone's voice is not going to, hearing my voice all the time isn't going to break that out of him, right? But he gets into a college room and he hears Josh say the same freaking thing that I've been saying, and like it clicks. And then it's like, you know what, dude, my offense is freaking amazing. And he starts opening up and he starts putting it on people. And it's like, I get that, but you can do that now. Like, how do I get, break that out of you right now kind of thing, And it's fun though. It's different than college wrestling. It's way different than coaching college. I kind of miss, I miss certain things about coaching college, but I kind of like high school coaching because it's like, you get them fresh, you can like kind of mold them and brainwash them into like whatever kind of mentalities you want kind of thing. And I try to tell them, like, I don't really like talking about like, how I did it kind of thing with my kids, but it's like, I wasn't very good at, technically at wrestling. I mean, I was decent enough at place in California, place at NCAAs, but it's like, I think the mentality I had made me a lot better than, like, oh, dude, that was a perfect sweep single. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm trying to tell these kids, like, you can go and, your mentality can make you such a better wrestler than, like, drilling 1,000 perfect singles. Yeah, that's great. But if, like, you get in a match and, like, you're nervous to shoot, like, the fear of failure kind of kicks in and you just shut down. So that's not good if you have a perfect single, you know? So I think that's like a big thing with high school kids or my kids that I want to get, you know, because like we're used to that college mentality, right? Like me and you, we were drill partners. That's getting a takedown in that damn 2 hours is damn near impossible, right? And like we don't, like, high school kids like don't have that a lot of the time, you know. Like the successful teams, I bet, do. It's fucking barn burners in that room, I bet. But it's like I'm almost to the point where it's like, dude, I want to see you like punching a kid in the face to go get to that thing because you want it so damn bad, and that kid you're wrestling wants to not give up a takedown so damn bad that it's going to be a freaking fist fight to go get 2 points. And then if you get 2 points, it's going to be another fist fight to get that 1 point escape. Because I worked my ass off to get that single, and I'm not going to give you a 4-second ride kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? And I think maybe I'm just too crazy for high school kids, but I just want to get that still in our kids because we have the talent, we have a technique. It's just and it's part of my fault because I don't probably do it enough. But it's like that's the one thing that I feel like we're missing is that freaking do or die, dog on a bone. Just go and get the freaking, you know, get that takedown. No matter, you can bite me, stab me, shoot me. I'm going to end up on top. I'll die on top, and I'm going to get that freaking takedown kind of thing, you know?
Yep. And that's, you said the whole time you're talking is just, I'm thinking that that's the dog on the bone mentality. And I say that, and probably my kids get sick of it, but I love that mentality because it's like, dude, whatever I get my hands on, whatever I freaking grab, my mentality is it's mine now. Like, you're not getting it from me. You're not stealing it from me. You know, I'm going to do whatever it takes to keep it. So that's, yeah, I love that mentality. And I was just, you know, I was going to speak on just you as an athlete. And that's one thing that I would, you know, definitely commend you on is you were so goddamn stingy, you know, competitively. You hated giving up points, and you had that mentality. And whether it was, you know, pretty all the time or not, like you said, it didn't have to be because, dude, you were a goddamn winner. And, you know, you went out there and you fought hard and you didn't give up inches. You didn't give up anything. You just were so stingy. And that's a mentality. And I think that comes a lot of it, you know, for you, and this is outside looking in and knowing your guys' family, like, you know, just you not ever wanting to give anything to Zach, and
Yeah.
he has the same mentality, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And that just carried over into, you know, into the wrestling room and into college and into your competitive career, and to recreate that in our wrestling rooms now, it's, you almost have to have that brotherhood or sisterhood if you got girls. You have to have that team vibe. It has to be so strong that when you step in the room, they care about each other, and they care about competing so much that when they're in the room, they're gonna, you know, fist fight it out. They're gonna, you know, do whatever it takes to you know, get the step ahead. They want to be, you know, pushing each other every single day. And I think over time, that's what it is. You can't expect, you know, it to just change like that. It takes that time, and it takes, you know, like you said, you're about to start this, you know, kind of postseason, spring stuff with them. It takes that, you know, it can't be season's over in March. I'll see you guys again in November, and hopefully we can continue to change the culture. That's not it, you know. And I was just watching this YouTube video. It was a Rudis video, and they're talking about being as when we sign on as coaches, it's not like you sign on and you can get on and get off whenever you want. No, it's like I'm on, and for my athletes to be successful, I'm there no matter what. You know, I from the start of their, you know, their time with me and not till the end of their career, till the end of like time. You know what I mean? Like that we got to be lifelong coaches, and it's, you know, 12 months a year, 24 hours a day. And it, you know, it can be tiring and stressful at times, but, you know, just when you look back at your coaching career and your time with athletes and time with the families, it's going to be so gratifying to know that, you know, you changed and added value to so many people's lives. Because, you know, at the end of the day, like you said, nobody gives a crap about a Reno World title. No, you know, and even further beyond that, like, yeah, being an All American is great. Being a national champion is wonderful. But if you're all of those things and you suck as a dad, you suck as a mom, you don't have a job or you're going job to job, if all of those things are in play, but you got a national title, guess what overrides that? All of those negative things that you have. So and that's like you said, being in these young athletes' lives right now, that's the reason I really, really care about it, because I want to see this journey through, right? From, I get kids, that are 5 years old. I want to see them when they're 35. I want to see them, have kids, and I want to see them have jobs and go through college and all that. So, just that's the thing that really resonates with me when I think about creating culture and creating something to be ultimately very proud of, is just being there all the time and letting the kids know that, push comes shove, I've got your back, and we're going to ride this thing out, whether you're winning, losing, otherwise,
Yeah, and then we're lucky we got the hand up in the sport, because I mean wrestling's so freaking personal, dude. Like, you're in each other's face for 2 hours every day. Your hands are on each other. You're physical contact. You can't not bond with someone when your hands are on them for every single day.
Yeah.
And I know, and I teach at Palma, so I get to see these. I have them in class, so it's like it's easy, because I think with me, it's easy for me to preach, academics and life skills associated with wrestling, because I see them literally from 8 o'clock till 5:30 every freaking day. Probably more than I want to sometimes at lunch when they're in my class and like goose about it. But it's like, I got crap to do, dude. Like, go outside and go eat lunch. Don't eat lunch in my damn classroom. But it's like, like wrestling's like a platform. Like, I think, I mean, I know for a fact, like I wouldn't have accomplished, academically or, career wise things that I've done without wrestling. Because it's like, if I can go and cut weight and, be miserable for 9-10 months out of the freaking year and go get a stupid little medal, there's no way in hell I can't work hard to go, make money or, stuff like that. And then it just I think wrestling teaches you a lot about like, like building like relationships with people. I mean, like, we compete in college and look how close we are. So, everyone we competed with, we're still super close with, because it's like, you share the struggle together, right? Like the whole process, you guys share the misery, you share the ups, you share the downs, stuff like that. I remember like specifically the year you won the regionals, right? I was pissed that I lost in the semis on freaking overtime. I know you remember that match, but it's like immediately, I'm done wrestling. I took third. I'm qualified for the NCAAs, and you're ready to go. And it's like that just goes out the window, because I'm pumped for my, my drill partner. You share those kind of ups and downs. Like, you win, I win. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to build a bond or break, like friendships like that through the sport of wrestling. And like, you can just touch so many people, because all the, I love wrestling, but all the bullshit you got to go through to be successful, or, just to get through a damn wrestling career, it sucks, man. It's hard, but like, you share that with the people around you, and like, you just get so close with each other, and it's like impossible to break after that, because it's like, oh, we went to national duels in freaking Iowa, and it was negative 500 degrees, and you got to cut weight and all that crap like that, right? And it's like, oh, it's fun though, like the process. And I think a lot of our kids right now don't. I know I didn't do it when I was in high school, but it's like the long term, like the end of the road kind of thing. It's like, you remember the small, I remember a lot more about like the daily end-to-end stuff, or like in and out stuff of practice, and like, road trips, and, with Jensen, and, all, like with Coach Mo, and all the fun stuff we did on trips, a lot more than I remember like one NCAA tournament. I mean, that's still important, but it's like the little things along the way, like, with like having like, all those people in there, it's fun, man. I like reminisce a lot. I miss it a lot. And like, just not so much like the competing and the cutting weight in that part. I mean, I do miss that, but not as much as just the fun times you have. Like, wrestling can be really fun, and people, I think, associate it with like just hard nose, just, all that stuff. But it's fun, man. It's fun. When you're done, you realize it. And it's a lot of fun, a lot of fun.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that, that realization, the sooner that you can have that as an athlete, to remember, like, it's a game. Like, at the end of the day, it's a hard game, and it's very, very taxing on you, but it's still a game. Like, so, enjoy those games, enjoy the hard, the tough times, enjoy the good times, because at the end of the day, like you said, those relationships are forged in steel, man. They're forged in struggle. And with that, comes great friendships, great relationships, and you run into some of the most, outstanding people because of wrestling. But no, so like you're saying, that region tournament, I was laughing because, so in that match, so I'm wrestling, whatever, and my headgear snaps, right? You remember that?
Yeah.
So my
I
headgear
still,
slammed
I still, I still think that's. I mean, I think that the power of my headgear gave you that last takedown. But I mean, that's just me. That could be wrong, could be right. I don't know.
I mean, it must have propelled me to some extent because my chin strap broke. And I'm like, dude, I don't got another headgear. And just from the stands, headgear's coming in. Isaiah's luckily, luckily I had that head of hair at the time because your big ass head, it wouldn't have fit. So I had
That
the big
Justin
old
Bieber
hair,
haircut.
strapped it up, and went on and won. But yeah, I mean, those moments and those times, yeah, are just awesome. Um, let's get. I got so one more story. Um, so national duels that year. Like I'm just gonna be honest, I did not think we were going to place at that tournament. So
So we were both like 12 over because we started eating.
yeah, so I'm like, we just go through the tournament and we wrestled freaking amazing and make it to the second day of the tournament. And I step on the scale and I look and I'm like 10 over and just I had never been 10 pounds overweight the day before. And luckily it was all just water crap weight and it went down. But yeah, and also when Jensen dropped us off that morning to go into the arena, but it was still locked. And the
Yeah.
big thing
And
outside of the uni dome is it said -20. And at that time, we're all California kids, had never even, been
yeah,
in that situation. Oh man. And he just took off. He didn't even
dude,
wait
but
for us.
that
So we're sitting out there in -20.
carrying the Gatorade.
Yeah. Yeah.
But remember that back half of that duel was so wild, though. I remember like you won, I won. Then it was like, all right, dude, we're not winning any more matches because they had like 4 national champs. They had
Yeah.
like 4 returning champs in that, and like, I mean, like, I don't think we had them until like, oh, we're gonna lose, but it's just like, dude, reality. We're barely winning this duel right now, and
Yeah.
it's like they got 4 back-to-back champs, and I think Zach had a big match that he won, and then that kid that Reggie was wrestling tore his ACL in the match. That gave us 6 points, and then Franklin was like in a barn burn, then ended up with his big ass hands and half and pinned that kid. And it
Yeah.
was like, oh man, I remember we were sitting down because it's like, oh, let's get our cool down, let's just chill. And I remember I was eating wheat thins, and then we were sitting down, and then like Zach won, and then I know Gene won first, I think, right? And then like Zach won, and then Reggie won, and then we were both like, oh shit, dude, let's go check our way. I think we're gonna win this match. And then we started putting our crap on, and then Franklin pins the kid, and I just remember like, oh man. I think I remember too, like when we stepped on that scale, you were like, dude, I weigh more than you do right now. I think you were like a pound or 2 heavier than I was.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was heavier than you.
That
And
was
yeah,
crazy.
I was not confident in making that weight, but I did. We did. It was fun. Yeah, that was a fun year. Just all of us, together. It was that group had been together for like 2-3 years, and it
Yeah.
was just like a kind of like the solidifying moments of of a good group of guys. I'm still in contact with a lot of those guys, and I can hit them up and just check in and see how they're doing. And that's kind of just what we were talking about earlier, just those bonds of those fun times, whether we were all in it for the same reasons or not. We all were having a blast, and and just
Yeah.
enjoying it all.
I think that's a big part of it too, is like, I mean, I always tell our kids too, and it's all kind of hard when you live at home still and you don't really have that freedom like you do in college, right? But it's like the group of friends you have, dude, like just surround yourself with people that are motivating. It's like with us, I mean, I remember one time when we were at home, remember when we were cooking and then you're like, I'm gonna use that pan. And I was like, I'm using that freaking pan. It's like that kind of competitive thing that goes in
Yeah.
and out of, in and out of wrestling. And it wasn't like negative at all. It was more just like, like keeping kids keeping each other accountable. Like, dude, you're not gonna do anything. Like, what the hell? Stuff like that. Like just having the right group of people around you that are, motivating and not just like negative people around. I think it's a big part of it too. And I think, we got lucky with our group of friends. It's just everyone, I think a lot of it was probably, ill motivated. Like, I'm going to do better than freaking Josh. Are you kidding me? There's no
Yeah.
way, stuff like that. But it's all healthy because it's like, it's in a loving manner. And it's like, you just have like a bar set and it's your best friend. So it's like, I gotta go outdo that guy. And then it's like, I got to go outdo him now. So then you just kind of, keep raising each other up, and having that right group of people around you just helps so freaking much. And you can control that, right? Because it's like you can eliminate negative or just people even in the room. And high school is different because it's recreational for some kids, and some kids it's serious for. But it's like you can still make those kids accountable because it's like, it's our room and you're a senior. It's your room and you're going to go and a kid's not doing what he's supposed to over there picking daisies on the side of the freaking mat, like get the hell out of here, dude. You're not going to be here. Go home. Right. I'm not asking you to go and make it an Iowa style practice. Just be in the moment, like because it takes one person, then two people, then three people, and then it's a whole freaking Ironman group that's just over there doing cartwheels and somersaults. And it's like, you got to have that right group of people to kind of motivate. You got to be on the same page, right? Like 100% buy-in, and it makes it a lot. I think we had that a lot, which was good. Maybe not for everyone, but for our close group, we had that, and it helped us be really successful. So that's a good thing to have with the kids too. And I'm trying to get that going with our guys, but baby steps. I'm just too competitive and too freaking selfish and greedy, and I want it now. But I now it's like I got to step back and like, you're not competing, dude. The other kids are not you, so just take it baby steps. And we're getting that a little bit. We had, like 1 or 2 the year before, and then or 2 years ago, and then like 3 or 4. Now we got like 7, 8, and then all our kids are coming back, and we have a really good group of 8th graders coming in, some tough 8th graders. So then it'll be like 12, 13. More than a quarter of the team that's 100% bought in. They want to win national freaking titles, even though we're not there technically, they believe it. So we're going to create an environment that, kind of fills that want and that need. So it'll be fun, man. I'm excited.
That's awesome, man. I'm excited to see what you guys got. I like watching your kids compete, Zach, especially, this year I got to see him a couple times and watch him. And like you say, he's just a tough kid and hard nosed. And if more kids are going to, gravitate towards that, you guys are going to be, spot on.
Yeah, I know him too. I had talked to him after state, and I was like, listen, man, like it takes a fire starter, right? Like you're the fire starter for, we've had success in the section. We've been a top 5 team for a lot, and then we kind of had a down wave. And he was that first, that he was a freshman. We had seniors and juniors, and all the kids that are placing now were 7th, 6th grade. So he's that fire starter. And I was like, listen, man, like it sucks, but like you kind of set the example. And like you're the one that controls like the future of the program right now, because you're the senior, everyone else is freshman, sophomore, and it sucks that you don't have that big group that like these kids are going to have. But I mean, like you're setting a wave, like you're starting the wave of all the success going to come after you, and that's important too, right? Not just being like having a super like it's hard being a leader, right? And he's being a leader right now. It's like, I get that you didn't get what you want this year, but let's go fix it, right? There's 2 ways you can either look at it like, oh man, this sucks, or like you'll find a way to fix it, man. You just got to fix things. That's all you got to do. It's a process. It's not going to define you. Just go and fix things. But yeah, I know it's going to be a fun year next year, and then it'll be do it all over again because we're not graduating anyone again next year. So it's going to be a fun couple years.
That's great, man. That's great. I'm excited to watch. So yeah, just make sure to let me know any way I can help. I'm looking forward to getting back down there again. We had a blast at that camp in October, and we'll as soon as this quarantine lets up, I'm gonna need some ocean and some beach. So we'll come take a visit.
Yeah, we gotta get up there and get these guys in some mountain air too, and get them up in Reno and train with that high elevation, get them ready to go.
There we go. Sounds like a plan, man. Well, Isaiah, I appreciate you jumping on here, my friend.
Yeah, man, this is awesome. I love what you're doing, dude. It's awesome. And actually, the stuff that you're doing makes my job a whole lot easier, because it's like, go look at what Josh is doing. If I don't want to, one day it's like, go look at Josh's Facebook. Go do what he's doing today. And, because we have the same style, so it's not really changing too much, So it's like, go watch Josh's, whatever video he's doing today, and then go work on that. But no, man, this stuff's amazing. I love it. I wish we freaking had someone like that when we were in high school, so we could steal off and piggyback stuff. But it's great, man. It's growing. It's helping kids that probably wouldn't have access to go and do camp stuff, but it's helping a lot, and I love it, man. It's good stuff.
Appreciate it, my friend. I will. It's going to keep coming. I'm not stopping anytime soon.
All right, sounds good, brother. We'll get something set up soon as this coronavirus is gone.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you later.
All right, later.
All right, bye.